Hey everyone. So I wanted to come on today and talk about a topic that is very prevalent now in the spiritual community, and I've noticed it's kind of out of control, but in 2020 it's gonna start coming um, full circle because the veil is thinning, and what I'm talking about is spiritual ego. And I want to start off with a funny example. Um, just to simplify it so you guys can really understand the angles that I'm trying to come from in terms of this topic. So, the example that they gave me was when I was younger and we had gym class, we'd have a unit on basketball. Now, basketball was like my passion, I played all the way up into college and I was pretty good at it, right? So when it came to gym class and it was the basketball unit, it was funny. I always got all A's, but there was and I ended up getting an A in gym class. This was in high school. But for the basketball unit, my gym teacher actually gave me a B because she'd seen me play before and she knew I wasn't trying, like when I'd play in gym class. And for me, it was like this weird thing where I knew I was good, but why would I sit there and go balls to the wall in gym class and just make everyone look bad, or steal the ball every time somebody got to shoot it who doesn't, like most people. And we were like co-ed, so I was playing with the girls too. Most of the girls in my gym class never played basketball, don't care about basketball, and they'd probably kick my ass in whatever they're talented in. And so I was not about to do that. I was just playing casually and having fun and kind of bringing myself down to that level in order to make everything run smoothly and not be a jackass, right? like and my gym teacher kind of was one, so she gave me a B. She's like, you weren't trying. And I was just like, you want me to just steal from everyone? I don't understand. I'm not going to do that, right? And I was always that way. My sun and my moon signs are in Libra, so very fair, very balanced. I'm not the type of person to take advantage of people or try to make them look bad. So whatever, I took my B, but I ended up getting an A overall. But in that unit, I got a B, and I was just like, "You're so rude." But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is in the spiritual community. I don't even want to go there yet. Sometimes when we deal with people who have a spiritual ego, we feel like we have to dim down. We have to dim our lights so we don't trigger them. So you have to pretend like you don't know as much, or you have to pretend you aren't as well versed in whatever it is that you're more interested in spiritually, because you don't want them to feel like you don't want them to get triggered and then come at you in a defensive way, like I know more than you. This happens all the time. This happens between people who these types of things break people up in terms of friendships and stuff like that. And I don't think anyone really talks about it. So for me, I had that experience with a friend who, they had done a lot of traveling. They had they've been in the game longer than me, you know what I mean? And they were really more of the trendiness in spirituality, I noticed. Dress the dress, walk the walk, hang out with the people, do the psychedelics, go do rituals and ceremonies and all these things, and travel all over the place, and somehow that makes you spiritually superior to somebody else, you know? And some people, they've been in it for so long, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have been implementing the things that they've learned along the way into their lives. It's one thing to learn about something, and it's a whole nother ball game to actually live by what you're learning. And so the point I'm trying to make is when somebody's been in the game longer than you and you come in and you notice wow, I've done a lot of growing, and you see things in people that you have things that you've grown out of in your own life, you see it in other people who maybe have been around longer, and they have a spiritual ego to them. don't tell me, I'm a veteran here. Um, like that there's a different way to look at something. And that's so linear because first of all, like you could have had like a spontaneous kundalini awakening and like just been catapulted on your spiritual journey, which for me, I feel like I grew really fast. I even came into union with my twin flame really fast, which was like surprising to me. I thought it was going to take more time. I thought I had a lot of, growing to do and all that stuff. And I know you have to get to a specific, like not specific, but for that individual person, you have to get to a certain level in your growth process to be able to hold union with your twin flame. And this isn't about twin flames, but it's about the fact that I knew like I had come a long way because I was able to hold that vibration with my twin. I was able to work through things. And I know also that the reason, maybe one of the reasons that I came into union sooner is because he's helping me grow so much. Like once you come into union, like that's when the real insane growth happens, right? Maybe that was just how it was for me. Maybe the insane growth happens before union for a lot of people. I mean, I had insane growth before and after. So my point is like it can happen really fast for people. It can happen really fast for people. And for other people who've been in the game a long time, they don't want to hear like you woke up 2 years ago and you think, and like, don't tell me you know more than me. Like this isn't about who knows more or whatever. This is about what you individually resonate with in your own soul. There is not a one size fits all. There is not a box to fit in. Not everybody should be vegan. Not everybody should do yoga. Not everybody is going to run a spiritual business. Some people are going to hold a high vibration and they're going to work a 3D job, but they freaking love it and they're able to hold a vibration and impact everyone and everything around them, impact the collective just by holding that vibration in general. So if you look at this in a linear way, your ego can come into play. And if you've been in the game a really long time and you're not seeing a lot of things manifest for you, maybe it's because you have some more growing to do. Maybe it's because you think you know everything. If you think you know everything, you know nothing. Because the people who I know who know the most, like, I'm like, wow, they have like really came into a lot of knowledge. They're so humble. Like they don't even like feel like they know that much. They're like, oh, I know nothing. I know nothing, But the funny thing is like we know everything. We have access to every answer we could ever want to know within ourselves. We just have to tap into that, right? But anyways, the point I was trying to make is sometimes we feel like we have to dim our light so we don't trigger people. And when that happened to me, even in close friendship situations, I distanced myself. I said, I'm not going to sit and pretend I don't know something. I'm not going to walk on eggshells for somebody. And I'm not going to deal with somebody who's so defensive, so deep in their ego that they're not open to all different perspectives. And this is the thing, when you think you know everything and you think people are supposed to do things this way and this is how it should work in, the future and in the spiritual community and like, and the thing of it is like, that is being closed-minded. Like the same people who are accusing other people of being closed-minded are closed-minded for accusing them of being closed-minded. Because you're not open to the fact that, hey, that's where that person is. That's their perception right now. And me judging them is just a mirror. Because when you judge somebody, you push them away. You don't bring them into the light. As soon as you attack somebody about their belief systems or want to debate somebody, it's not bringing light to the situation. So when we're in those situations where maybe we do want to share some information with somebody who might not agree with us, then we share it in such a neutral, non-aggressive way. Like, hey, I tried this and it really worked for me. Like, maybe it will for you. But that's really cool that you tried what you worked too, or what worked for you too. Like, what things have you done? Like, give a shit what somebody else has to say. There's so many people out there that are just talking. They don't even care about what the other person's saying. They're not they're just waiting for their turn to speak. And that's the thing. Sometimes we just have to be quiet and be still and observe and let other people talk, whether you agree with them or not. Say you disagree with somebody and they just went on this whole rant about something that they really know a lot about and like are passionate about, and then like you know something that you think goes against that, so you immediately just want to like squash their perception instead of being like the best default answer in any situation where you disagree with somebody is like, wow, that's an interesting perspective. This is my perspective. And then share your perspective in a non-aggressive way, in a way that says, I respect how you think, and I appreciate that you respect how I think. And spiritually mature people, they know they have nothing to prove to anyone. So if you're like, oh, they won't, they keep pushing me to talk about a specific topic, and I don't want to do it in this video because it's somewhat about spiritual ego, but it's very sensitive. It has to do with like race, our race relations in the United States, the division, violence, the gun violence, the protesting, all that kind of stuff. They really have been pushing me to share about that, but I don't know if I'm ready for it because it's very touchy subject. And a lot of spiritual egos will be triggered. So that's why I've been avoiding it. But that is for a future video. But anyways, all you can do in these situations is stay centered and observed and watch how you react. And like half the time you're not gonna like, the best choice probably for the highest good of everyone involved is to not react, like gracefully bow out and just like walk away. You know when somebody's trying to come at you, your parents are like, don't fight when you're in school. Don't fight, just walk away. You can always walk away, but it's always somebody's ego that's stirring up and they just want to come back and fight. They want to come back and like say what they needed to say, or they'll walk away from the situation like, shit, I should have said this, I should have said this, I should have said this, and then want to go back and say it or write a really long text message, and it's just like, no, there's so much power in just not saying anything at all. Because you're talking, a lot of times when we talk to people and we feel triggered and we want to say our point, it's like giving our power away when we do, and this is the thing, like, don't judge that person or attack them. Like, you observe them. You see they have a spiritual ego. You see that their ego is triggered in general. Like, the worst thing you could do is just like light a fire under their ego and make it worse. That is not of the highest good of everyone involved. So if you let their ego trigger your ego, and then everybody's up in like flames. So just having the power to walk away and to not say anything and just to not engage, or maybe even, let some people who have been in your life a really long time walk away, and they don't have to be out of your life forever. But sometimes people need that time for growth. Both parties, everybody needs that time for growth, and it's just not, a vibrational match at that time. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody needs their space sometimes, and you don't have to be like, you're not my friend anymore, you're not my family member no more, you're like no, it's not even like that. Like, you can do it, like, you can still communicate with that person, but just don't engage with them in the same way you used to. Create that space, create a healthy boundary for yourself. You have to protect yourself out here. There are a lot of people, just because they know about spirituality and they're in the spiritual community, that does not mean that they are coming from a place of light, or they're coming from a place that is of the highest good of all. And the thing of it is over the years, like even on YouTube, like in the spiritual community, people have tried to take advantage of the spiritual market, because people who have woke up to a point, they understand that there's an awakening. They understand there's a market in that. Like, everybody's waking up. Everybody's going to be turned on to this stuff. How can I make some money off of it? Now, that is serving the self. It is not serving the highest good of all people. We are here as light workers to serve Gaia, to serve consciousness, mass consciousness. And so when we, like, there is no sneaking around that. Like, if you try to take advantage in a self-serving way, like, there's karma attached to that. Like, what you put out is what you get back. It's the law of attraction, just as true as the law of gravity. Like, it is very consistent. It does not say, oh, you know what, we thought she meant this, so we're just gonna, like, give that to her anyways. No. Like, how you feel in that integrity or lack of integrity will be mirrored back to you. And so you have to be careful when you're on YouTube, and like when, and just some things to look for is like, if somebody is like talking more about like judging certain groups of people, judging certain ways of living, judging other people who are on YouTube in the spiritual community, you know what I mean? And they're not pushing self-empowerment, and they're like, come to me, come to me, I can help you, I can guarantee union with your twin flame, or come to me because I can definitely clear those blocks for you. I got news for you. There is no person on YouTube, there is no angel, there is no guide that is going to heal you. You have to heal you. Everybody and everything that you're attracted to on your along your way is just like, it's just those clues and synchronicities of what is your next step. It's just co-creating with your intuition to help you along the way. It is not there to do the work for you. It's there to light up the path for you. So if somebody is just like, I am a guru and I can heal you and I can tell you how to do this, like, just take everything with a grain of salt. What resonates? You know when you're sitting there watching somebody on YouTube if they resonate with you or not. If what they're saying is like, I'm not sure about that. Like, I've watched YouTube videos before, and all of a sudden somebody goes off on this crazy egoic tangent. And I'm like, okay, like, maybe I'll switch a video, you know? But maybe I got a good nugget out of their video, so it's all good. There's no judgment. They're just at whatever point they are in their journey. And so just make sure it's about self-empowerment. Make sure they're pushing for you to look within and do this on your own, because that is where the power is. It's within you. Everything along the way is just guidance. It's just something to co-create with, but it's not going to do the work for you. You can't throw money at people and expect to be healed and spiritually enlightened. That is not the way this works. Like, you got to get your hands dirty and do the work. And it's not fun. It's your shadow. You got to play in it. You got to sit there and be like, I love you anyway, shadow. But I'm not going to be, I might be triggered, but I'm not going to react in the same old way, because I'm not that same old person. I'm growing. I'm evolving. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to come on here and do, is like empower you to be that observer, be on your game. Like, and you know how you're on your game is you're feeling into everything. You're saying, how does this situation make me feel? How does this person make me feel? How does this sandwich make me feel? If I eat this sandwich, am I going to feel like I'm going to gain 5 pounds? Well, maybe I should eat something where I don't think that. Or maybe I should change my mind about how I perceive this, eating this sandwich. So for me, every once in a blue moon, I will eat meat. But I don't beat myself up for it. I enjoy it because I'm in this 3D, like, I incarnate it as a human. I'm going to enjoy being a human as well. And I can enjoy being a human, being vegan or anything else I want, but I don't like putting those rules and stipulations. I don't want to put myself in a box. I want to live in the moment. If I want to eat a chicken sandwich in the moment, I'm going to eat a chicken sandwich, and I'm going to love it, and I'm not going to judge myself for it. I'm going to say, let this chicken sandwich nourish my body, and then I'm going to believe it does, because that's how powerful your thoughts are. And you really have to feel into life like that. And stop taking what somebody says on YouTube as doctrine. There is no commandments of what we have to do to make this work. Like every individual is on their own journey, experiencing their own things that come into their life, situations, people, friends, whatever it is, traumas. And why? To grow. It's for the highest good of them to grow to their fullest potential. So if something shitty happens to you, thank you, universe. Thank the universe, because it's an opportunity for you to grow. That happened to me yesterday. Something triggered me and shitty happened to me yesterday. And I was like, what the hell? And I didn't, and I I made in retrospect, I thought I made the wrong choice. And so after I made that choice, I was beating up on myself like, what the hell, Kels? Like, you know better than that. Like, blah, 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 And then I was like, whoa, you're judging yourself hardcore right now. And then I realized I was judging myself, and then all of a sudden I perceived the situation in a whole nother way, and all of a sudden it was like, poof, I felt it release, and it was like insane. I went from feeling like so self-judgmental, so self-critical, to feeling like I raised my vibration and I was just like blissed out. Like me and Lance were like sitting in bed talking for hours, like, that pillow talk where you just like feel so good, you can't stop talking about it because you can't believe that, wow, how am I, like, I always say this, but like, how do I possibly feel like I love you more than I loved you before, And the situation wasn't even like between me and him, really. It was so weird, but that's kind of like how it is when you're in union with your twin. Like all the leveling up and like the I don't know, like being immersed in that vibration, that high vibration, and like feeling yourself, grow and all that. Like you share that with them because they're a part of you. It's funny. So like he was feeling what I was feeling, and like we were just feeling it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like if I could I told him last night, I was like, if I had to describe one word to really encompass what this whole thing is making me feel right now, it would be gratitude. Like I felt so full of gratitude for growing and learning the lesson that I had learned. And so that's just it, guys. Like let's not overcomplicate this. Like you guys can do this. Seriously, it's not rocket science. It's not being distracted and caught up in everything going on around us. It's seeing everything as a lesson, and how can I perceive this in a way that serves my highest good and the highest good of everyone involved, It's just carrying yourself with integrity. We all know how to do that. We knew how to do that before we woke up spiritually. It's not complicated. But we complicate it because we're human. And that's okay. We're human. We're going to screw up. And what we got to do is love on ourselves. And be open to that growth and that change and that, reacting in a better way. So yeah, that's my message for you guys today. I definitely did not know what I was going to come on here and talk about. And so about 10 minutes before I turned on the camera, I was like, okay, give me whatever you want me to talk about. And this was it. And I brought up some things in here I didn't even expect to say, but what's meant to be heard and come out for you guys is going to. So I really hope this helps somebody with anything that they're going through right now, because I know it's not easy. It's kind of lonely. Like people will drop out of your lives like freaking flies, and you're gonna be like, what? That person was a keeper. Like they're spiritual. What the hell? Like, but everybody's on a different wavelength, Not everyone is going to be on the same vibration as you. Not everyone's going to be a part of your path during certain periods of time. Maybe they'll come back, and that's fine. Just be open. Be malleable. Don't be so stuck in our ways, Like, be open for anything in any moment, and just live in the moment as much as you can. If you have kids and a schedule, I get that. But try to be as least scheduled as possible. And if you are scheduled and something happens, just be open to that change. And that is just being easy about life, being easy on yourself. That is like the biggest piece of advice I could give anyone. So yeah, that's a little tidbit for today, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, just look up Kelsey Franks, and all my services and how to donate is listed below, and it's also on my website, kelseyfranks.com. I really appreciate it.